Hi guys, so we're back with the Lapbook today, making progress with it, definitely. We're into the sort of second half of it, if you like. This is how far we've got so far. Nice little booklet in there, flippy flops there, and this gorgeous little flip thing book that comes out. In case you ever want to take it anywhere. I don't know why you would, but you never know. Adds interest. And we are now onto this section. So we've started this section, made a good start to this section actually. And we've got this. This is what's going here. And this bit gets stuck down, and it's got a couple of journaling, tags really, that go in there. Like that. So that's what the very back page will look like. And then it just folds out. Folds out like a mad thing. So we've got loads of decorating to do there. And we've started doing it. We've got this page, which is simply an Edith Holden illustration from a book. And at the moment, that's all it is. I'm trying to resist the temptation of putting something on top of that. But the temptation's quite strong, so I might, but we'll see how far we get anyway. This one is a double pocket, fairly straightforward actually. Double pocket, nice big bit of journaling there, and a little journaling card in the front. So, the only thing that I've done since I last saw you that you didn't see me do is this. Let me put the Lapbook away and get down to today's business. Today's business is so complicated, I've actually got a running list because it's like chess. This is chess with paper. So yeah, the only thing that you didn't see me do, and I did after I'd switched the camera off, was this page here, which you might remember was less wide than the rest of the pages in here. And I just stuck a piece of very, very flat lace. It's really, really flat because I'm trying to avoid bulk. And I haven't got any lace anywhere else in this book, which for me is unheard of because I'm usually queen of lace. So I stuck that down, and then I put this illustration from Edith down on here and just put the names. Down at the bottom it had the names, Black Bryony and Wild Service Tree. What's the service tree? I've never even heard of that. Because of that, I don't know which is which. So I've stuck the Wild Service Tree up here and the Black Bryony here, but they could be the wrong way around. But unless you're a bit of a naturalist, I don't think you're going to know. So that's the situation as it stands today. So on this side, all we've got left to decorate is the back of the lace section. But on the other side, we've got plenty left to decorate. So it's one of these pages that I'm going to set about today. And it's kind of complex, guys. It is. But overall, the general gist of things is that we're going to have, some backing paper. It might be just green or it might be Edith Holden. I don't know yet. But let's just say it's that. This gets tucked in behind that when it gets stuck down. There's a pocket that goes at the front, at the bottom, which I'm making out of an old pack of cardstock, really for making cards. I don't know why I have this because I've never made cards, but I've got it and I can't see it's ever going to really be used up, so I'm going to use it for this. And that's going to go a bit like that there, which will hold that pocket down, but that will flip out. Are you following this, guys? And there'll be a journaling card in there. That comes down. That comes up. I'm going to have a tie there and a tie there. This is all going to be decorated. And then one of these tiny little, they're not tiny, you can get smaller than these manila envelopes is going to go on there, be decorated, flip up with some paper in there. Right, so make yourself a coffee and get ready for this. It's going to be a long one. If you like what I do and you like my channel, please hit subscribe. And if you want to know when I'm going live or loading videos up, hit the bell. You know what to do, guys. Right, so the first thing to do then is to stick the back of the envelope down. And we need to stick it on the edge so it can rock and roll like that. So I'm just going to stick that down with Prit. It's going to have another piece stuck over the top of it, so it's going to be sandwiched in. So yeah, it's this side. It seems a shame really, because it's pretty and I've decorated it with decoupage and whatever, but you know, needs must. And I do like this. I've used these envelopes throughout this journal, and so it's quite in keeping with the journal. It's not like it's suddenly popped up from nowhere. Right, which side do I need this on? On this side. On the really pretty side. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, you little decoupage things. But when your time's up, your time's up. Right, so let's just stick that down. It's quite a bit of decorating and thinking about this. So I want this at the top and right on the edge of that piece of paper, piece of card. So, there. And that's going to flipperoo like that. Marvellous. So I'm just going to take my I can't find it, in which case I'm going to use my bone folder. I don't know where the aha, Justin's just come in carrying this. He's been doing his own craft project today, and when it's finished I'm going to show it to you because it's absolutely amazing, and I'm going to implement it on the cover of my book actually. He's doing really well. Right, so that's down. Marvellous. Step one. And it flips and it flips and it flips. Great. Right, so the next thing we need to decide is, do we want the back page to be an illustration of by Edith, or shall we use some of this green collection that we found, that we came across last time? I don't know. There is a nice light green here that I think might look quite nice. Yeah, I might use that actually. And this is fine because it's got a pocket coming up over that, so it doesn't matter that it's a bit on the short side, to be honest. So yeah, I think I'll use that. Now before I stick that down, this is where I'm talking about chess, people. Actually, just looking at that on the camera, that looks a bit wishy-washy. I might go for a darker green. There's that one. That's just a bit too silly green. There's the bottle green that we used before. There's that light one that I'm thinking might be a bit light. There's that one. That's quite nice. Is that the same, or is it a slightly different shade? Slightly different shade. Right, so let's audition these and see what they look like. That one. Yeah, I like that one. That one, maybe a bit too greeny green. And that one, it's a bit too chartreuse. A bit too chartreuse for our needs. It is one of my favourite colours actually, that chartreusey sort of colour. I'm running out of space on my desk, guys, because I've just got, I mean, you can see this bit and it looks kind of organised, but to the left and to the right, it's a total disaster area. Right, so we need to cut this to the right size, but before we stick it in, there is something we need to do, but I'll get to that in a minute. Right, so the length is fine. We just need to make sure that we get the width right, which I know is 5.5, but I'm just measuring it again. So I'll just get my quilting ruler out, cut this at 5.5. You can, if you've got one of those fancy cutting things, then use that. I prefer this quilting ruler. I never have much luck with those cutting things. They always seem to, I can't seem to get the hang of where exactly it's cutting. So it's not its problem, it's mine. Right. Put that over there on that pile of stuff. So this is going there. Let's just check that's okay. Yeah, that's fine. Does this still flop and fold? Yeah, that's good. Right, now before we attach this, I need to put a grommet in, because I want to create this sort of thing. And I need the... Ooh, don't fight in there. So I need to position it. Ooh, I'm hoping that... I've only got an inch hole punch, and I'm hoping that that's going to fit there. Well, it will, one way or the other, it will. So let's take some cardstock. I might just take the same, actually, the same thing. Or I might do it in bottle green. Yeah, let's make the thing in bottle green. So punch out your holes. It's easier if you do it on the back, and then you can make sure that you've actually got the whole thing. And you want 2 just for strength. So let's just try this then. See if my whole idea is not going to work. Oh, look at that, that's all right. Not a lot of space, but you don't need a lot of space. That's fine. Right, let's stick these together then. Glue stick will do, because they're just paper. So we've got a nice squish 'em flat. There we are. And I probably need, do I need one for the reverse? Just to strengthen it or not? This is me thinking, guys. This is the machinations of a junk journaler. No, probably don't actually. That's probably fine. But what I need to do is attach it. And I'm going to attach it using the grommets that you've seen me use before. Well, I think they're called grommets. Eyelets. Let's call them eyelets today. So I'm just going to make a mark where I want that to go. You need to cut, I need to cut a hole in. I'm going to cut a hole in there first. Come on, let's get this show on the road. Where's my hole punch? Yeah, this is getting better. I'm getting better now. And a white pencil would be handy, or there's a white pastel pencil. Perfect for the job. And I'm just going to put it on my grid because it's at 1/2 inches. And see if I can hit the middle, which is about there. Right, so now I make a hole in that where my white mark is, and hopefully that will be in the centre. Yeah, it looks pretty centrish to me. So, just thinking about this, this is where my pocket's going to come to. Yeah, I think that's fine. I don't want it any further. Don't want any further up. I don't want any further down. So that's great. So let's take the pencil, make a mark there. That's where my hole's going to go. And I do want a bit of card on the back, I've decided. That's the most sensible thing to do, just to reinforce it a little bit. So I'm just going to use a bit of this. Doesn't have to be fancy, but in this case I'm going to make it fancy. So I've got my mark there. I'm going to make a hole. No, that's going to stick over when it's finished. Come on, girl. Make a hole here where I have marked. There we are. Right, okay. Marvellous. Things are progressing. So I'm going to put the rivet in. Let's just see where the middle of this is, so I'll get it somewhere like right. There. Right, so that's going to stick on the back just for a bit of added reinforcement. Right, let's put the thingy in. Fold that out the way. That's going on the back. That's going on the front. So I'm going to use green, obviously. I need to get that out. Put the green thing face down. I'm talking to myself as much as you guys here. Just to remind me of what goes where. Then that goes over. And then this is just going to reinforce the back a little bit. Get one of these little washery things. Pop that over the top. Right. Prepare for a noise. It's going to be noisy. There's going to be 2 loud raps. And look at that. Amazing, isn't it? Isn't that amazing? Now we need another one in the pocket front, but we need to decorate the pocket front first. So I can't do that quite yet. So you've got that excitement to look forward to later on. It is exciting, isn't it? I think it's exciting. Doesn't take much, does it, in this day and age? Right, okay, so where's our envelope? Here it is. So this now is free as a bird to get stuck onto there. I'm exhausted already. When somebody does a flip through of their journal and you're watching it on YouTube, you think, oh, that's nice, that's nice. And, you know, to be honest, you sort of miss all the thinking and the, you know, all of the grief that actually goes into making that page. So I think I'm going to use Aleen's for this. Obviously missed the centre of that, but it doesn't matter. It's just a reinforcement. I think that let's get it on there, then we can smooth it out. I can't use my little bottle to do this because my hand would just cramp up. It's a really good idea for little things, but where you need quite a bit of glue, it's just too much. I'm sure I've got a glue spreader somewhere, but you know, put one down there. Spread it out to the edges, to the corners. Just going to do this on a piece of kitchen towel, actually. Here it is. Because I just don't want to get it all over that. I think I need more glue. Who would have thought it? I thought I was being very generous. So how are you all entertaining yourselves these days when you can't go out? For me, it's pretty obvious. This is what I do all the time. Well, you know, do the odd bit of cooking and the odd bit of housework, but largely I'm either thinking about how to do this or I'm doing it. Or watching YouTube. That's another one. It's another one of my favourite pastimes. If the situation wasn't so dire, it would be quite nice to have this time, wouldn't it? But the situation is dire. Right, let's try that and see where we get to with that. Just got a bit of glue on the wrong page there, so I'm just going to wipe that off. Right, so this goes like this. So, sorry if you're seeing the back of my head, but I need to lean over and make sure I'm in the right place. Let's just make sure that still flips. Yeah, I thought that was a bit tight. I don't know, it's like this paper's stretched. I think I'm just going to have to try and cut the tiniest bit off there. It's just like it's stretched a little bit. I told you I'd never used this paper before. And by the looks of it, I won't be using it again. So right up to the top. Make sure you're covering your top. And then down this side. And then, yeah, and that's good. Yeah, I mean, I'd cut it properly, so I don't really know what was its problem, but it did have a problem. Right, so let's just take the flattening tool, make sure that's stuck, because it was stuck, and then I pulled it up again, which won't have done it any good. So right around there, because that's what, it's going to get a bit of use around there. Right, hooray, we're making progress. I'm just going to push this, really burnish it in, because I don't want it lifting there at all. Okay, right, so we've got that in. Now, next thing is our pocket, which I'm making, as I told you, out of this cardstock. So I need to cut that to the right width, which is 5.5, I know that. So let's just go ahead and do that. I'm going to try this because And actually, it was rather that it was a bit short than a bit long, because we need to fold the other things in around it. That's actually perfect, but I'm just going to take the merest whisker off it, because these things flop over onto it. So I'm just going to come in marginally from 5.5. To there, just take that whisker off, which I think will make a difference when we come to fold it up and around and round about. Right, okay, so this is going there, behind there. Then the envelope's flopping over. Then that's coming up, being attached to that to hold all that in. In the interim, there's a pocket, a journaling card going in there. But we're now at the pocket stage, so let's deal with one thing at a time instead of confusing my tiny brain with all of this stuff. So this is the pocket. This needs decorating. It's going to be able to flip out, so all of this needs decorating, and this does. Right, so I'm just going to put a D for decorate. Put a B. Why have I put a B? And this needs decorating. So the only bit that doesn't is this bit, but, you know, aide-memoire is not a bad thing. Right, so let's put that over to the side while we work out what we're going to do on this. So this is facing up. So I think a bit of Edith. I don't think you can go wrong with a bit of Edith, really. Question is, do I want text or do I want an image? I think maybe an image. I think I'll go for an image. That's pretty, isn't it? That's very pretty. That might do for our journaling card, actually. I'll tear that out because I think that'll do for our journaling, big journaling card. Excellent. I keep coming across these bloody snakes. I'll put them at the back. I don't like them. Let's have a look and see. Could I get that in there? Yeah. Yeah, I can. Okay. What's on the back? Oh, that's why I've saved that. Because it's these beautiful roses. Okay, I'll leave them for the time being. Again. Nice page of text there. That's beautiful as well, isn't it? Perhaps we ought to do a flip-out page somewhere with one of these. That'd be nice. What about that? Look at these images, aren't they beautiful? What about that? That would be nice. Because I'm not awfully keen on that, actually. I'm keen on it, but not in the grand scheme of the book. There's others that I like better. So I want it to be there. Yeah. Let's just put some little marks on here. So I've got a bit of a clue. And then I'll chop it. Let's chop this off first. I could come down a little bit. Yeah, I'll come down to there. I don't need a big margin at the top. Even although it is nicely aged, this book, and the paper is beautifully distressed naturally by itself. All on its own. Right, so what does this measure? That's a good question. Just short of 5.5, yes. We know that because we just cut it. Hello. Just short of 5.5. Let's just make sure I'm doing this right. Yeah. and lengthwise it measures just over 4. So this is what I need here. I need the just over 4 bit here. I can make it quite a bit over 4 and cut it down. There's nothing wrong with doing that. So I'll make it 4 1/4, just so we're erring on the side of safety. It's not a bad thing to do. Yeah, it's still usable. That's all right. And then I need to cut this at just a tight 5 1/2. Okay. Nothing left on that one. So there's 5 1/2. So let's move it across a smidge. And chop that. Now, this is the part that's having the grommet put on it, just to add a bit of excitement to the whole thing. So let's go back to this. Do I decorate it all? I decorate it all first, I guess, and then put the grommet on. Yeah, there's no need to make it unnecessarily difficult, is there? So let's stick that down. Yeah, as we know, it's a little bit long. That's fine. We said it would be. We're prepared for that. So, glue stick is good enough for this. Paper to card, be fine. Don't forget to put the lid on your glue stick. I left mine off for overnight and the whole glue stick is absolutely ruined. It's just dried out. Right, so that's right along the top edge there. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Lovely. I'm wondering if there was any words that went with that. Yeah, there are. So I'm going to put those on there. Let me just cut off this excess first. I can't even find my scissors. Here they are, hiding under there. I would have a tidy up, but to be honest, it's just not worth it. Because as soon as I tidy up, I need all the things that I've put away out again. So it's kind of not worth it. Right, I'm going to get my deckle-edged scissors, which must be around here somewhere. Here they are. And cut out these words of what these things are. So this one's purple loose strife, which they've conveniently named each one at each side, so I know which is which on this one. So that can go over there somewhere. And this one is Great Hairy Willow Herb. It sounds like some sort of god from a far off country, doesn't it? Great Hairy Willow Herb. Or is that just me? It's probably just me. And that can go up there, which adds a bit of interest to that relatively dull space up there. Okay, so I'll ink these up before I stick them down. Stick them down and then I'll ink around the whole shebang. It does make a difference that these are inked. It's not just me being silly and whatever. they do look much nicer when they're inked. I'm using Vintage Photo Distress Oxide. There are loads of browns in the range. I just find that Vintage Photo is neither too dark nor too light. It's a bit of a Goldilocks one for me. It's just right. So I'll stick those down. Things like walnut stain and whatever, they're so dark. But for a journal like this, if you've got green, one of the green ones, that might look quite nice around all the edges. I've got a green, but it's a really weird green, shamrock green or something like that. And it's just, I don't like it. Why did I buy it, you say? Well, they came in a job lot from eBay. So that's why I've got it. There we are. Let's ink around all of that. That's a really nice image, that, isn't it? Really nice. Well done, Edith. You're a champion. There we are. Right, so that's that. So the next thing is the inside. Now both bits need decorating. That's the thing. Because when you unscrew, you know, take the blinking thread off, this flops open. So you need to be able to see that. See whatever's inside. So let's have a look and see what images we've got that's just hanging around. Back to the book, which is getting ever thinner, this book, of course, as I'm taking stuff out of it. Was there something nice on the back of that? No, I'm not overly keen on that Kingfisher. I much prefer that. Let's have a look and see, will this do our job? Yeah, I think it will. Goes to there, and then I might lose the words at the bottom, but that's all right because I can stick them on again. Right, so I need that to be 5.5 that way, and whatever it was, I've forgotten. Forgotten already. 8 1/4. 8 1/4 by just like a 5.5. Let's deal with the 8 1/4 first. So I'll cut that there. I need a straight edge to 8 1/4 is to there. So if I bring that down to there, where I'm going to have to put the words in. Let's cut the just less than 5.5 first. So it's going to there, so I can budge that along a little bit. With these quilting rulers, you can actually see what you're going to get, which is really useful. So that's to there. Yeah, okay, quite happy with that. 5.5 down to there. Yeah, okay. Let's do that. Going to keep that because it's got a number on and it's 100, so it could be significant to someone. Right, 8 1/4. So, well, let's have a look at. Let's just take the very bottom of that off, right up to the words. See where we get to. 1.25. Yeah, that's good. That's good. I'm not losing anything. Excellent work. Right. Let's have a little look. See that we haven't done anything too dramatically wrong. I think that might be just a smidge too wide. Well, if it is, I'll cut it off after. But yeah, it looks marginally too wide. So that's going in there like that. Okay, back to the glue stick. I was going to put a popper on the pocket, but I did a trial one. Yeah, no, it's not like me, but I did. And it was actually too thick. It was taking up more thickness than I wanted to allow it. So let's just line this up. That is the right way, isn't it? Line this up along the top edge. And it should be right everywhere else. That's the theory. Oh, that's lovely. Good choice, may I say. Yes, you may. I'm not going to fold that until this is dry, because otherwise you tend to get a bit of a not very nice crease. So I've got little bits to trim off, but something and nothing. Overall, it's pretty good. There might be the merest hint along here. Merest hint. Okay, but what I can do while I'm just waiting for that to really dry is ink it up. The concept of the Lapbook is a fantastic one, and I got the idea from Nick the Booksmith, who's just, well, all her stuff, it's just phenomenal, isn't it? Amazing, amazing woman, and such a joy to watch. She's really entertaining to watch. Right, I need to sort of score that along there, really. So I've just sort of folded it in. Now I'm going with my bone folder along that score line to try and keep the paper as flat as I can. Then I'll fold it a little bit more. Entice it to fold neatly. And a little bit more. And push it again. We're getting there now. Yeah, that's nice. And that's a nice fold there as well. So I'm pleased with that. I've got glue all everywhere. I'm just going to squish that down. And that's a nice fold there. Got an air bubble in there. It's not altogether helpful. Right, so let's see how we're progressing. What's going on? What's happening? See where I am on my list. So you get the gist anyway. I hope you do. let's just see how it's all fitting into place. Right, so here's our page that we're doing. So this now gets stuck under there, but only on 3 sides, that side, and that side, because a journaling card's going in there. Then this fold, then hang about. This folds back, this folds up to keep the envelope in place, and this has got one of these here that we can wrap the string around. Blimey O'Reilly. So I think we're doing all right. So the plan was to put one of these little envelopes on the front of this flap so it folds up. But I kind of like this so much, I don't know if I want to cover it up. I'll see when I get it all done if I want to do that or not. So I've inked everywhere. No, I haven't inked this crease. And I like my creases inked, because that is somewhere that would age. So you've got to give it that sort of look to it. There we are. Right. So before I do all this, I want to sew around it, and I really do want to get that other grommet-y eyelet thing in there. So let's make a mark where we want to put that. So I reckon about there. Maybe there. Yeah, about there. And I need 2 more of my dark green things. Here it is. It's kind of laughable how bad my desk is. So I want 2 more of these. And 1 for the back. That's being glued down so you won't see it. So 1 for the back, which is this slightly tougher card. I'll show you my practice piece with a press stud popper, because it's here. Yeah, this was the poppies, and this is going to be my pocket, and this was the popper I was going to use, which meant I wouldn't have to use that. But it works perfectly, but it's too thick. You see, there's too much bulk there. So I've jettisoned that idea. Poppers might come to the fore again, you never know. So stick these 2 together. It's exactly the same process as we did with the other, putting that one in. Exactly the same. But I'd rather do it now than do it when the pocket's all sewn in and stuff. Talking of sewing, do I need to sew around that? Yeah. I'm going to sew around that before I put the grommet thing in, because otherwise I'll have to sew over it. So excuse me for a minute while I sew this. Right, okay, here we are. I've got that sewn up. Got some ends here that I'm actually going to cut off. I've been leaving them so far, but I just feel like I don't want them here. And then I'm just going to run my bone folder over these stitches just to set them back into the paper a little bit, because on the wrong side of the stitching they often sort of stand proud and don't look very nice. This just knocks them back down a bit. Okay, excellent. So we're at the stage where we were before we sewn it up. Right. So glue these together, then make a hole in them. Same old procedure. Did have glue on this, but it dried whilst I was sewing, of course. Stick the two together. Give them a good squish. And I'll do that one later in a second or two. Oh, they're not exactly on top of each other. Yeah, that's fine. Right, so just mark the centre again. I'm using a white pastel pencil because this is obviously dark cardstock, but you could use a pencil if yours is light. So that's where I want that hole. And for this one, which doesn't matter quite so much about getting totally central, it's just to reinforce the back side of the hole. Because you gotta reinforce your backside. I didn't just say that, I just didn't. There we are. And this one. Okie dokie. So let's decide exactly where we want this. I'm not going to use that. I should have put that actually inside there, but I'm not going to use it. It's quite thick anyway, so I think we'll be all right. So I'm just going to make a mark where I want it. Oh, I've made a mark already. Come on. Make a hole where the mark is. These hole thingies, hole makers, they're relatively new, so they can't be blunt. I think I've just cut through too many layers with them once too often. So there we are. So that goes on there, and it just fits. So I'm glad that I sewed around it first, because it would have been a bit tricky otherwise. I'm going to put these back in the drawer they belong. Then I might stand a chance of finding them again if I ever need them. Right, so back to the eyelet procedure. So you get that. You get the fancy coloured bit, goes on first. That goes on, and I want it on this side, so it goes on there. Washery thing, which may even just be a washer actually, on there. And then get ready for two loud wraps. Lovely, lovely job. So that's great. That's that on there. Just got a bit of glue on there, that's it. Right, okay, so we're in business. We are in business. Oh, I've got one of those washers there, which I'm going to dutifully put away. Otherwise it's going to get lost. Right. Okay, so where are we up to? Where are we? So that needs to get glued down onto there. That's the next job. And while that's drying, we can make a journaling card, which I know you all know how to do. Yeah, so far so good. Marvellous. Right, let's just glue that down then, shall we? Not that glue, this glue. So this is just Aileen's tacky glue that I've got in here. It's just that I put it in this little bottle with a very fine nozzle, so I can just put a bead of glue where I want it. Because the actual bottle of Aileen's, it comes out quite fast and too much really for jobs like this. To be honest, you get too much in one go. But I've had to water it down because the nozzle is so fine. I couldn't push the glue out, and even now actually I find it a bit of a struggle. Well, I find it a struggle, yeah, I do. But the watered down, it's not watered down much, but it still does a great job. So much so that I bought a gallon of it. That's a lot of glue. The problem is, by the time I've done that much, my hand gets cramp. Right, let's try that then. So I want the bottom, right on the bottom. It's not super fast grab, Aileen's glue, so you do have time to get it exactly where you want it. That's fine. Right along there. So now it's apparent why we need to fix this down, because it just wants to spring up on its own. It needs to be tied down. It's like a wayward child. So there we are. Let's just burnish that down with a bone folder. And hope that that's sticking. Let's pop the pin that comes with the little pots, actually. You can get them on Amazon. Back in the top. That's going to go there. That's going to go there. That's going to go there. Yay! Hooray! So far, so good. So, just a journaling card. Quite a big one, I think. So I might make it about 5 inches. I'll make it 5 inches and we'll see where we get to. Might make it 4 3/4. So it needs to slide in and out of there quite easily. I'm just going to check it. Yeah, I think 4 3/4 is right. So I'm just going to cut this end off. I want to get that butterfly in if I can. So that's my 4 3/4 to there with a butterfly in it. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Excuse me. Cut that off at 4 3/4, and then we've got the right width. Then we can have a look at what length we want. So we need to lose a bit of length, but there is a bit of length to be lost both top and bottom, so I'll do that and then we should be all right. I can lose that much anyway, straight away. It's just the sort of top margin. We have no space for margins, no margin of error. And just this to go. don't know what length we're ending up with here. I'll tell you in a minute. But all of these measurements, they're all dependent on what size book you start with anyway. So it's not worth me keep telling you my measurements, because they're probably not ever going to be the same as yours. So it's about 8 inches actually. Oh, what I didn't think is I don't want to impede that. Forgot about that impediment. Yeah, I can't do that. I need to make it narrower. Oh, that's a shame. That's a shame, but I just didn't think about it. So I need it to be about 4. Let's try 4. See if we can get away with that. Might even have to cut a little bit more off than that. I don't know. It's a pity. Such is life, eh? I'm keeping that. That's really nice. So if I put that in there, down to that side, yeah, that's fine. That's lovely. Right, so we just need to put something on the back of here to give it a bit of body, bit of substance. So I've got some paper here that I did in the printer. It's lined. It's white paper. I just printed it out like that. So I'd like to get that in this double line here in. So I'm just going to cut round there so I can line my thing up with it and not get that white margin in. I was looking for really, really large journaling tags one day, and I didn't have any paper of my own, writing paper sort of thing of my own, that I could use, so I printed some off on the printer. I know some of you have got stamps that have got lines on and things. I haven't got any stamps like that. Right, so that's fine. So I know now that I need to stick it to there. So back to the glue stick. This is a long video, isn't it? But it's a complicated page. That's the thing. So down in this corner, like so. And these do want to curl up. It's fine. Just once you've made them, put them under some weight, some old books. So I've got reams of paper on top of my printer for printing with. They're quite heavy. So something like that. That's just going to squish them flat. And then you'll be fine. That's definitely worth keeping, there's plenty mileage in that yet. Shame this ended up having to be so narrow, but it's fine. There's still a lot of journaling on the back. Oh no, I've got a white margin. Thought I'd cut them all off. Let's just chop that off. Right, lovely. So, ink it, sew it, get it in the book. At this rate, I could spend my whole 12 weeks of isolation doing this lapbook. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. It's not going to take that long. I don't think. And the back. I'm just going to sew around it, and it will need weighting down because wants to be a banana. Right, that's that sewn round. Looks much nicer now it's sewn round, actually. I think. So that's another thing for our page, which is rapidly becoming finished, sort of. So that goes in there. Exactly like that. This folds up, but when this folds up, we have got another pocket here that we could put another journaling card in. That comes over there, that comes over there. So yeah, we could have another journaling card in front of this envelope. Now, whether that would look nice or not, I really don't know. The other thing that I was going to do was put this little envelope on there. I could probably get it underneath there if I wanted to. The question is, do I actually want to? I did do one, decorate one in readiness for this, just so as you could see what it was like. And I was going to put some decoupage on it, but A, it doesn't really fit, and B, I don't want to hide this. It's lovely. So I think at this stage I'm going to just tie this up and probably call it done, I think. You know, you can always come back to it. You can revisit things. But for the time being, I think that's about done. So this is just, I think it's called crochet cotton. So perle thread, wool, yarn. It's not wool, I can tell you that's cotton. So I'm just putting a knot in the end of that so it doesn't fray. I don't think it does fray, this stuff, but just to be on the safe side. I'm just going to tie. These rings are always very tight until you've used them a few times. Putting a knot in sort of lifts it up a little bit, actually. You can just go there, right. And it just comes down. I'm just going to use my bone folder just to ease this a little bit, because they are really tight. They're flat to the page. You just want to give them a bit of assistance. So you just bring that down, tie it around. You can go back up around there if you feel the need. Come back down, whatever. Tie it however you want. So I'm sure that's plenty there. Cut that there. You can put a bead on this if you want to. It's not necessary, and it's just going to add bulk. And we don't want bulk. We're trying to reduce bulk. So I'm just putting it once through the hole, twice through the hole, and pull it tight, chop it off, and there we are. Pull it fairly tight so it all stays in flat. There we are. Right, so that now I would say is finished. I'm not saying I'm never going to revisit it, because I might, but I think that's pretty much kind of done. So let's just pretend we've just found this page in our book. Oh, this looks interesting. What does it do? Well, let's open it up and have a look. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's very nice, isn't it? That's lovely. That envelope flops out. Oh, look, I could put some paper in there and I can journal on it. And oh, that's a very nice image. Oh, journaling space on the back. So yeah, it's nice. I like it. I think we've done quite well, actually, following all that through. For the benefit of you on YouTube, you can, of course, stop and start this if you're following along, so you don't get lost, because there's quite a bit. It needs to be done in that order, that specific order. Otherwise, you're going to get yourself lost. So, next time, this page. And until then, I'll bid you adieu. Stay safe, people, please. More than anything, stay safe. And I'll see you very soon. If you want to catch all the videos and lives that I do, subscribe to the channel, please. That would be fantastic if you could do that. And if you hit the bell button, then you will be notified whenever I upload anything, be it a live or another video that I've done. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye.